get a little bit more light on the situation because, uh, we need to see things clearly. So that being said, I am going to bring the music down a little bit and say, hey, look, got to focus in sometimes. Focus is one of the things I have written on a sticky note. And it is something that, man, I'm really getting the situations going on. People are texting me left and right. So how do you focus when you have so much going on? Um, well, I'm not exactly sure where to start with that because one is, clearing off your plate. When you have too much going on, one of the best things to do is do nothing. Doing nothing is actually a very great approach to how you can, um, step away. One trick I do, especially when you're dealing with people, is stepping away from a conversation. Have you ever been in a conversation and you aren't getting anywhere, and you kind of want to hit a reset, and sometimes resetting and having another opportunity, another chance. And some people say, hey, could you have a second chance? Could you have another chance to get things right? And you can. One of the things that you can do is step away from a conversation. And if you're having a hard time finding an appropriate way to step away without offending someone, say that you have to use the bathroom. And even if you don't, but even if you do, you get a chance to step away, get a fresh perspective. And have you ever noticed that when you go to the bathroom, if you really have to, and you're usually, well, I know that I hold it a little bit. And if I'm really engaged, I'm like, I'm sorry, I really have to step away. I need to, take care of my business. It is something that every single person in the world can relate to, and is a necessity. Unfortunately, we don't really think about it too much, or we kind of put it to the side and say it's disgusting, but it is a bodily need, just as drinking water, just as eating. It's just part of the deal of being alive. So it takes less offense to somebody if you do that to stop a conversation than rather to say, well, I'm going to step outside for a smoke, or something that's obvious that you need to get away from them. And you want to take away the idea that you are stepping away because of them, and more about, gathering your thoughts, because that's really what it is. It has nothing to do with them, but you want to represent yourself accurately. You want to be able to listen to what they're saying. And, it's a way to, because just saying words sometimes, and I feel like for me, saying a pause. Now, Barack Obama was actually a really great example of this, because he would wait on syllables. He would pause before completing a sentence. And the reason why he would do that, there's actually a very strategic uh, purpose for that. Because when you keep somebody in anticipation for completing a thought, you're going to listen more clearly to what somebody's saying. If it's just a constant ramble of words going bop da 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 da, there's no breath. There's no breath. There's no room to consider. See what I'm doing right there? Because there is a pause, there's more attention drawn to it. In music, that break allows dynamics. And a conversation is dynamic. It's not just one person rattling off a bunch of facts. I don't know if you've ever been in class and you have a lecture where there are people in class getting really disinterested because the professor is just rambling on without taking any questions, without, pausing to make sure everybody's, paying it, listening to what they're saying. I had some very intelligent professors do that, and it really, it's like, wow, this is so overwhelming, you know, and really checking in to make sure that someone is digesting, what you have to say. Otherwise, what's the point in saying it? And what does this have to do with focus? Focus is, truly listening to yourself, and rather than saying a bunch of words, you say nothing. And this nothing is not really absence of action. What it is waiting for the right time to act. It's better to have a well thought out action than to act because you feel the need to do something. This is just, it's something that I've learned to be true. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be true for you, in all instances, but it's a fairly universal thing. I think the Barack Obama example is really great because he's sort of known for that pausing and that rich tone. Plus, he has a very captivating voice that sort of gives an air of wisdom, of distinction, of charisma. And how do people have charisma? People have charisma because they're not speaking just about what they believe. They're speaking on the things that they, understand, things that they've understood about other people, things that they're unsure of but inquisitive about, things that you're always interested in learning more. It's not a resume, we're not a resume of facts and to present ourselves. I think there's a misconception of the way we present ourselves, as if this is the prescribed notion, or this is how other people have done it in the past, or this is how your folks have established themselves. I think there's all of these rules that we're given, but as you go through life, you find out that these rules are not, they're just a guideline for you to customize your own experience. It's just a jumping point. So think about mistakes. I was just talking with my friend earlier this morning about how mistakes are not bad. They're actually necessary to learn. And in order to learn, you need to have experiences to the contrary of what is successful. So it can be frustrating because you just want to succeed, but success is not the journey to success is not winning. It's how you get to winning and how gracefully you accept that winning as not, finally becoming better. I think there's a misconception of winning as becoming better. You're already better whether you're making mistakes or not. I think that's a very important thing. You're already making choices, whether they're right or not, to evolving. You're growing. You're all at different levels of being. Your focus on where you are at the moment is different than your focus when you were 5. There's an idea that I think parents sometimes forget because they're busy raising you, that they're like, okay, why don't you just grow up and be responsible and all those things. And I think that's really not the best thing to say, because it gives an unrealistic expectation that you should be somewhere other than you are, and you're right where you need to be. When you're 5, you're going to relate to things as a 5-year-old. When you're an adult, you're going to relate to things that you're going through at 34 or 42 or 56. And in some way, we're all children, and we're all an old person, an old soul, so to speak. And we're all somewhere stuck in the middle because those are different aspects of our personality that all need equal nurturing. I think the idea is that when you're 5, you can't expect yourself to be other than who you are at 5. When you're 17, you can't expect yourself to be, completely independent. Having a realistic view of yourself and what you can expect will let you off the hook. So sometimes doing nothing can help you find where you need to be putting your attention. So as you go through today, maybe you can find out where you need to be putting your attention in just stopping and then write it out. I think we get out trying in our head to figure things out in our head without seeing it, without writing it, without recording it. Here's another thing. Record yourself. Maybe you want to do this what I'm doing live. Record yourself live and and then listen back, or do it privately on your phone, or maybe just record an audio recording. I have a great app. There's a number of them, but I think if you can do that and then listen back, you can get an accurate view of what you sound like, of what good qualities you have. I think there's a fear that what you're hearing is, oh my God, I can't believe somebody says this. And I think there's a common thing. People don't like the sound of their own voice because the way you sound in your head is different than the way you come across. That's where I'm actually wearing the headphones so I can hear what I sound like as it sounds to you. But here, I'm going to leave you with this thought. When you're writing a text, you see yourself on one side of the text and you see what the other person is sending you on the other side. So, like if it's an iPhone, you're writing in blue and on the other side is gray. Now, for instance, when you're writing a text, think as if what you're writing is on the left side. I had this insight, and I think it's a good way to be able to see how another person is receiving what you write. So imagine if you're being written to what's on the left side. If you're receiving what somebody else has sent you on the left side of your screen versus what you send on the right side of your screen. And maybe you can get an idea of like what, how you come across, and that can help you in clarifying what it is that you actually want to say. And, cut the fat, trim it down, and then understand this is the essence of who I am. So today, let's all gain focus and come to a better understanding of who we are and love ourselves. Anyhow, every day I'm coming to you somewhere between the 12 o'clock hour. I was trying to make 12 p.m., but it was a little hard. Made about 12:30, and just going to talk to 5, 10, try to stick to 5 or 10 minutes and give you some gems. Again, you can check me out at danvictordoes.com. This is Daily Thoughts, and I'm going to be coming to you every day. So look for me, and hopefully your day will be as good as mine. Take care, folks.